Chosen one, what God is sending is too much for your budget. This is no coincidence. It is no coincidence that you are reading these words right now. You've been led to this precise time because something monumental is happening in your life. This is not just another day. This is a divine appointment. Something otherworldly is in action, and it's headed right for you. What's coming isn't tiny. It is not average. It is not ordinary. What God is sending your way is enormous. It is a gift, so large, your present capacity, money, resources, and imagination cannot contain it. You've been prepping without even realizing it. And the cosmos has responded in full force. Before we go into this message, I'd like to ask you to watch this video till the finish. The energy, support, and heavenly affirmation you are going to experience are all part of the transition that is now underway. And I'd want you to anchor this experience by leaving your fondest wishes in the comments, along with a number. This is a wonderful time to express what you are ready to receive and enable the universe to respond with divine energy. Wishes do come true, particularly when the soul is in harmony and the spirit is receptive to receiving. You're not just viewing a video. You are engaged in a holy exchange between yourself, the divine, and the energy of everything that has been selected. 1. I like this video. If you have not already done so, subscribe to the channel. Let we begin. You see, you were never intended to live a life of limitations. You were never supposed to shrink in order to fit into institutions that don't recognize your value. You were not meant to settle for less, to scrape by, or to worry whether your breakthrough would ever happen. No, your life has always been distinguished with favor from the beginning. Even in seasons when nothing made sense, your destiny was predetermined. And now the floodgates of heaven are opening, not with a drizzle, but with a downpour. So fantastic. Your old containers, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial resources will be insufficient to keep everything together. This blessing is on its way. It is going to overflow. It will push your boundaries, broaden your horizons, and challenge your preconceived notions about what is possible. It isn't simply money. It is more than simply an opportunity. It's not just about recognition. Everything is all of everything. It's abundant in all directions. This is not a trivial rise. It is a supernatural improvement. And it's arriving now because you've done the inside job. You have passed examinations in quiet. You have stood tall when others questioned your value. You stayed true when you just had faith. And now the recompense that had been kept back, hoarded, and wonderfully timed is being released. You may not notice it now, but the indicators are all around you. Unexpected connections and spontaneous thoughts. Doors that were previously sealed are now splitting open. People you never dreamed would turn up to support you. All of this indicates that the blessing has already been delivered. It is in motion, and when it strikes, it will be unmistakable. This is not something you can explain intellectually. It will be so massive, rapid, and divinely organized that the only explanation is that God accomplished it. But let us be clear. This is not only about acquiring things. It is about becoming something. You are changing into the version of yourself who is always meant to bear this amount of gift. You are being changed into someone who can channel the overflow with power and purpose, rather than just receiving it. You are entering a domain in which your influence grows, your effect deepens, and your light becomes difficult to ignore. This benediction is intended to provide more than simply consolation. It is for calling. It's not just about status. It is for service. You've had times when your pocketbook represented your concerns and your bank account echoed your struggles. But it isn't your truth anymore. What's on the way will be so massive that your pocketbook will be unable to keep up. Let us promote faith, hope, and love, bringing light not just into our own lives, but also to those who need it the most. Your donation provides a source of inspiration and healing for many individuals. And you don't have to work for this gift. You do not need to plead, prove, or pursue. This isn't about striving. It's all about alignment. The divine has already chosen. You have already been marked. The delivery is already arranged. All you need to do now is ready to receive. That includes opening your hands, thoughts, and heart, because what is coming will demand room. You cannot accept with clenched fists. You can't carry the new while still carrying the old. Release the past. Let go of your doubts. Make way for miracles. This is your assurance that the change isn't merely coming. It has already begun. The proof will grow clearer with each passing day. You'll notice how your energy draws fresh possibilities, how your words take on new meaning, and how your presence feels magnetic. That is not a coincidence. That is alignment. That is the frequency of favor. That is the tremor of overflow. And if you remain connected to that vibration, more will follow. More than what you asked for. More than you expected. More than you thought was possible. This blessing is not for the version of yourself that used to play tiny. This is for the real you. You were destined. The selected one. The one who was never supposed to fit in. You've always felt different because of who you are. And what you sensed in your soul is now proven. Wealth, recognition, health, and independence. It's all being placed in your life. And it's coming quickly. You don't need to wait years. The transition is taking place right now. Right now, while you listen, receive, and align, what God is providing is not in response to a single petition. It's the answer to decades of prayers. You're going to wield the type of riches and power that frees lineages, breaks generational curses, and establishes a new norm. You are not just receiving for yourself. You are receiving for your lineage, heritage, and for everyone who has gone before you and will come after you. This is holy. This is historic. And you're in the core of it. The chosen one. Hear this with all your heart. You're not late. You haven't missed your opportunity. You are exactly on time for the largest outpouring of your life. The beauty of it is, you didn't need to modify it. You didn't need to force it. You remain faithful. You remain aligned. And that is how the blessing might find you. This is not at random. This is a prize. This isn't luck. This is the legacy. So prepare yourself. Not in fear, but in trust. Start to anticipate the unexpected. Begin acting as if it is already yours. Because it is. Begin to carry yourself with the assurance of someone who believes the world is conspiring in their favor. Who knows? God has already proclaimed victory, and when it comes, you will see that every delay was divine. Every rejection was a kind of protection, and every closed door was a redirection to this particular moment. And when that blessing comes, the selected one, it will not simply fit in your wallet. It will flood your life. It will permeate all aspects of your life, including your home, relationships, career, and influence. You will not have quite enough. You'll have more than enough. Not for ego or display, but to pour forth, to raise others, to be the channel through which heaven meets earth. And that is why it is so large. It's happening right now, as your spirit resonates with these words, as your heart expands and your soul ascends to its intended frequency. A change is taking place behind the scenes. Massive, life-changing universe reverberating. You may not be able to see it yet, but you can feel it in your bones. You've entered a new universe, one where miracles are not uncommon. They're frequent, although overflow isn't uncommon. It's anticipated when the divine doesn't just satisfy your wants, but exceeds them with excess selected one. You need to comprehend something crucial right now. The blessing that will come is not estimated based on what you presently have. It is being poured forth depending on what has already been deposited in the spiritual vaults of your destiny. What you've gone through wasn't for naught. The agony has a purpose. The battle purified you. The setbacks shaped your strength. And the culmination of that preparation is about to be revealed. Not in a little manner, but in a way that is vast, unmistakable, and wonderful. It will change the narrative that people believe about you, and even the one you used to believe about yourself. Let go of petty thoughts. Let rid of the belief that you must work for every inch, suffer for every benefit, or that plenty is reserved for others. That mentality helped you in the woods. But you're now entering the promised season. The walls are collapsing. The gates are opening. The overflow is not being delayed. It's accelerating. It is intended to overcome you rather than to just greet you. The life that awaits you is not limited by your existing financial balance, job title, or social position. No. What's coming is so magnificent and multifaceted. It does not fit into your previous frameworks. That is why you have sensed a heavenly alienation from things that were previously familiar. It's why you've outgrown settings, relationships, and even some aspects of yourself. You were never supposed to stay there. You were destined to rise and ascend. You will. What God is sending is too large for your pocketbook because it is too huge for your previous life. It's intended to push you to new heights of potential. Your old ways of saving, spending, and even dreaming are being updated. Your whole internal infrastructure is being upgraded to meet the size of the benefit that is being bestowed. Yes, it is being released now, not later. You've been marked by heaven. You have been observed by the divine. Your name has been spoken into the wind of acceleration. You're no longer waiting. You are being summoned. Your life is going to reflect the abundance of everything you've been carrying quietly for years. Every vision, every phrase, and every hidden desire. The ones you barely confess to yourself are now attracting plenty to you. And it's not a modest scale. It isn't trickling. It's a tidal. The reason your wallet cannot keep it is because it is not just financial. It's multidimensional. You're not getting anything that just fills a void. You are getting something that offers up whole new possibilities. Realities in which money follows you, effect expands without effort, and your power extends beyond towns, nations, and understanding. You were created to be a beacon of heavenly abundance. And when this blessing arrives, everything in your surroundings will change. People will inquire, what changed? They will wonder what you did. However, it will not be due to your actions. It will define who you become. You became aligned. You opened up. You became ready. And the blessing has always been anticipating that preparedness. Now it's coming in waves. Each wave is greater than the previous. Do not be startled if your phone rings with miraculous connections. Don't be astonished if money appears out of nowhere. When thoughts come to you that seem too huge to be your own, don't doubt them. They aren't simply ideas. These are blueprints, instructions from the divine seeds of empires. This is the season when you collaborate with the supernatural, transforming your everyday actions into co-creation with a divine architect. And here is the truth, which simultaneously humbles and empowers. You are not fortunate because of what you have collected. You are fortunate because of the energy, frequency, and vibration you emit. It is bringing this goodness in. You've gone through fire and kept your heart open. You weathered storms and yet trusted in the light. You've been rejected, misunderstood, and ignored, but you choose love. Still choose purpose. Still opted for brightness. That is the kind of soul that the cosmos trusts to overflow. The blessing heading your way will need new structures, bank accounts, processes, and talks. Your old wallet symbolizes old restrictions, which are disintegrating. The exact container you once believed could hold your life is being broken as you outgrow it by the hour. Expansion is no longer voluntary. It's inevitable. You will look back and understand that this was a watershed moment. This was the moment when all you had hoped for came true. This is when you stopped pleading and began expecting. This was the time to claim your inheritance with confidence, since you now knew what you have. You understand the immensity of what has been stored up. You know what's following you is divinely sent, universe-backed, and too strong to be stopped. Let the goodness arrive. Don't wonder how it'll get here. That is not your job. Your role is to align, believe, and prepare. Create the infrastructure in your mind and heart. To store this abundance, begin talking about your life as if it has already changed. Because it has, begin walking like the affluent spirit you actually are. Because you are. Begin anticipating that each day will bring something unexpected. You're entering a season of ease, not because life will not provide problems, but because the gift outweighs the conflicts. The favor is thicker than the opposition. The overflow is heavier than the opponent. You will experience tranquility. That goes beyond logic. You will have money. That goes beyond explanation. You will enter rooms and change the vibe because what is going on in your life will be evident. So breathe it in. Feel it in your bones. Smile before it comes. Your soul is already aware of its presence. And when the world wonders what happened, you'll simply explain that what God sent couldn't fit in my wallet. It had to fill my life. You are entering a version of yourself that you have never seen before. But heaven has. The divine has always recognized who you actually are. Long before uncertainty, anxiety, diversions, and disappointments. God saw your finest self bursting, fearless, radiant, and that version of you is no longer simply an option. It's becoming reality. The benefit coming your way isn't merely there to reward you. It appears to disclose you, to expose the treasure that has always been concealed inside you. The treasure you had forgotten was there. Others were unable to view the wealth. The treasure life attempted to bury. This is why it exceeds your budget. Because it was not designed to fit into anything little. It is intended to span across dimensions. It's intended to fill the voids in your spirit. It is intended to inspire purpose, enhance your position, and chart a new direction not just for you, but also for others who are linked to your journey. You were not picked to get anything ordinary. You were picked for something rich, explosive, and generational. Your name appears on a miraculous delivery that does not arrive in installments. It comes in floods. It's overwhelming. It's shocking. It silences every doubt and smashes all illusory limitations. This benediction is not asking for permission. It is not knocking lightly. It is tearing down fences and claiming territory. It's a heavenly invasion, supernatural saturation. And when it lands, it will not inquire. Are you ready? It will state, "This is yours. Take it." Because you have already said yes. You have already professed your obedience. Yes, with your resilience. You have already claimed. Yes, with quiet weeping and unflinching hope. The chosen one. Understand this. Everything you've lost was a clearing. Every time you were rejected, deflected, or delayed, it was not punishment. It was a preparation. You were being emptied in order to be filled with this gift rather than anything else. The immensity of what's coming couldn't reconcile with what you were hanging on to. That relationship, that atmosphere, and that attitude could not sustain this degree of grace. That's why it needed to go. And now the space has been created. The hallowed vaults of your soul have been uncovered. The skies have coordinated. The world is leaning in your favor. This is the point at which what has been stored throughout time gets released. You don't need to do anything else to earn it. You have done enough. You are enough. The vibration of wealth has already discovered your soul and connected itself to your destiny. What follows will finance your vision, raise your voice, and ignite new levels of bravery inside you. You'll say yes to chances you never thought possible since the resources are suddenly available. You will leave environments that no longer respect you since your value is no longer an issue. You will give liberally, freely, and happily since your overflow will never run dry. This benefit does not simply affect your money. It rewrites your inner reality. It dissolves the previous identity, which was molded by shortage. It unhooked you from the survival mode. It frees you from the illusion that you must settle for less, struggle for every inch, or shrink to be accepted. No more. That version of you fulfilled its role, but it has been replaced by the version. Who knows? They were designed for more. Who walks with certainty? Who talks with authority? Who walks with heavenly confidence?